Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. Our next phrase is adverbial phrase. Adverbial phrase in Arabic is called zarf. Zarf is of two types, zarful zaman and zarful makan. Zarful zaman is adverbial of time and zarful makan is adverbial of place. Zarf literally means envelope or container. So it is a container in which an activity takes place, or we can say it is a container in which action of the verb takes place. So if we look at this sentence, al-waladu amam al-masjidi. Al-waladu, the boy, amam al-masjidi, is in front of the mosque. So amama means in front. So if we look at this construction carefully, the construction is that of possessive phrase. But in standard possessive phrase, we have two nouns linked to each other in a connection of ownership or possession. So here, although the construction of this is exactly the same as that of a standard possessive phrase, but it is not really that typical link of ownership between these two words. Amama is not really owned by the masjid. If we say Babul Masjidi, the door of the mosque, in that case the door belongs to the mosque, but that is not the case when we say Amam al Masjidi. So the construction is typically that of mudaf and mudaf ilayh, which is possessive phrase, but because of this adverbial word here, this is adverbial phrase, not possessive phrase or murakkab idafi. Now, if we analyze this, we will say mudaf, mudaf ilayh, and that will be adverbial phrase or zarf here. In grammar books of Arabic which are written in Urdu, they typically analyze this saying this is zarf and this is mudaf ilayh. So then they say zarf and mudaf ilayh combine to make this phrase, which then acts as whatever in a sentence. It could be, for example, khabar in a sentence. But really, if we look at it, this whole construction is zarf. Amam al-masjidi is zarf, and this is zarful makan. So that's one point. And the second is that I just said a minute ago that Babul Masjidi, when I used Babul, Bab I used in Rafa, but here this is in Nasab. So that's another difference between the standard mudaf and mudaf ilayh construction and adverbial phrase, that the adverbial verb is always in nasab. So amama, I have written quite a few words here. They're not all of them. Tahta, under, fawqa, above, amama, in front, khalfa, behind, ma'a, with, in the, by or with, ba'da, after, and baina, in betweens. So these are adverbial words, and we see all of them has been written in nasab, and they are used in the phrase in nasab as well, which basically means the last alphabet of this word will have fatha on it. But that is not the case in standard possessive phrase, because depending on what is happening before this construction, and the mudaf could be in rafa, mudaf could be in nasab, and mudaf could be in jar as well. So let's look at some Quranic examples. Kul innamal ilmu indallahi. Say, the knowledge of this is surely by Allah. Wa innama ana nazirun mubin, and I'm only a clear warner. That is Surah Mulk, ayah number 26. So our adverbial phrase here is indallahi, by Allah, or with Allah, you can translate as well. So you can see inda is in nasib here, and then the noun which follows this is always in jar, just like as it is in standard possessive phrase murakkab idafi. La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana. Don't worry, verily or surely the Allah is with us. So here, this is Surah Tawbah, ayah number 40. Ma, with, has been used with damir. It is not known ism like this. So just as in murakkab idafi, the standard possessive phrase, this noun or ism which is mudaf ilayh, the position of mudaf ilayh, could be an ism or it could be damir. So ma'ana, with us. Awalam yaraw ila tayri fawqahum safatim wa yakbidn. That is again Surah Mulk, ayah number 19. Do they not see the birds above them? Fawqahum, again with fawqa, which is adverbial word. The damir of hum has been used. Fawqahum, above them. Safatim wa yakbidn, spreading and enfolding, which means their wings. Fahkum bayna nasi bil haq. Allah is talking here to Prophet Daud. Be fair between people. Do justice between people. So when a problem comes to you, be fair. So bayna nasi, bayna, in between, and we have this mudaf alayh, which is known here, and it is in the state of jar, as mudaf alayh is always in the state of jar. Now let us look at these constructions, which clearly this one is the same as we already talked about. Al waladu amam al masjidi. The boy is in front of the mosque. Al waladu fil masjidi. The boy is in the mosque. Now if you focus on these two, in both of them there is a connotation of place. Where is the activity happening? In the mosque. So because this is also kind of giving adverbial meaning, so some grammarian says that amama, these words, that zarf, that is adverbial phrase type 1, and this is adverbial phrase type 2. So the type 1, they say it has adverbial verb, which is then called mudaf, and the noun which follows that is mudaf ilayh. So that's typical possessive phrase construction, murakkab idafi construction. But here in this construction, they say this construction is a combination of jar and majroor. So harf jar, and then whenever we have harf jar, we have ism majroor. So there are different haruf jarra which then work or do the job of adverbial word. You know that we have talked about this construction as a propositional phrase, And if you want to have a refresher, go back to the video on prepositional phrase. So all these prepositions, when they come before a noun, the noun is always in the state of jar, and according to these grammarians, this is also adverbial phrase. It is prepositional phrase, but the other name we can say is adverbial phrase because it is giving adverbial meanings. The difference clearly here is that one is terminology, mudaf mudaf ilayh, terminology here, and here it's jar majroor, typical of a prepositional phrase. And the second thing is that adverbial word here is always in nasab, but huruf jara could be the last alphabet of a harf jar, can have any harka, or it could be silent, as in the case of fil masjidi. Sometimes, quite often in some copies of Quran, they put silent sign of silence here. So fil masjidi, in the mosque. Similarly, this is also gives the same kind of meanings. Fawqal Kaaba, above Kaaba, which is type 1 adverbial phrase, and then fil Kaaba, inside Kaaba, we can say that is adverbial phrase type 2. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.